Hey, Jets fans, this is Jeremy. This is Jets Chaos. And I'm saying that Robert Saleh might actually be good. Now, hear me out. I know what you're saying. He stinks. He's the worst. Look at his record. You're going to put crazy shit in the comments. You're going to say horrible things about him. And then I'm crazy. I know. But wait a second. Wait a second. Aaron Rodgers hasn't been lights out. He wasn't lights out versus the Titans. Not at all. Why did we win the game? It was just okay. He had under 200 yards. He was efficient. Under 100 rating, though. It wasn't like he was Patrick Mahomes. It wasn't like he was one of the top quarterbacks that in the way they performed. But yet, and even this was true with Zach Wilson when he had a good game or played somewhat not horrible. Or when Mike White came in. Any time that Robert Saleh has any kind of quarterback play, we've been good. Why? Because Saleh, for his entire career, wherever he goes, the defense becomes and is built into a great defense. And he did it in San Francisco as a defensive coordinator, and he made them the best in the NFL. And then he came to us, and last year, arguably, because there's different metrics, and people say this is the one it doesn't matter. Arguably the best in the NFL. And guess what? We don't know anything about this year. We know we improved a little bit. We know we got some issues because of injuries. And then some of you will say JD screwed us with the whole Reddick Huff situation. Whatever. That'll pan out to be what it is, but I guarantee you it'll be a top 10 defense in the NFL because that's what Saleh does. But Robert Saleh had no quarterback. For years, he had no quarterback. Every coach in the world, when you're losing, you're going to yell and say, you stink, you're a piece of crap. You yell at everything they do. You criticize the way their eyebrow moves. You just do. That's what you do. But anytime he gets any kind of quarterback play, they win because he's a defensive-minded coach who delivers, and he gives you the great defense. But what does he need? He hasn't had a great offensive coordinator. We know that. He hasn't had a quarterback. He's had an offensive line that's been decimated with injuries. Can we just put the slate clean and see what happens if Rodgers continues to shake off the rust? And not just be average, but to start to really look at, and he showed flashes of it. What if we start seeing those games from Rodgers, but it's a whole game? What if and the offense gels and starts to put it together? Then all of a sudden, when we're winning games, if we're 4-1, if we're 8-2, if we're 12-3, if we're 13-4, or if we're 12-5, is Saleh a horrible coach? The first year he'll have had a quarterback who can actually play, who's not the 32nd, literally the worst quarterback in the NFL. He ends up 12-5. I would say that's pretty good. So I'm just going to say this. Take a chill and leave my boy Robert Saleh alone, because maybe he's not as bad as you think he is. And maybe we need to be a little bit reasonable and stop throwing out records and all this nonsense and accept and be honest about the reality we know he's had. He's had no quarterback. He's had no offensive line. It's been a nightmare. And I don't know what coach would have coached their way out of that, except he gave us a top-notch defense that's been waiting, and he created a locker room that Aaron Rodgers wanted to be part of. So let's give him a chance. Stop crying about Robert Saleh. Let's see what the team does this year. I agree. If it doesn't happen, even if it's not his fault, it won't matter. He's gone. We have to start over. We can't keep doing this. Even if it is injuries, then we need something new. Okay, fine. But let's wait till the end of the year. If you disagree with me in the comments. Don't make personal attacks. There's no reason for that. I'm not attacking you. Why should you attack me? But what you can do is subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, one day I'm going to have like an aneurysm and you're going to miss it. Look at me, I'm crazy. Something's going to happen and you'll miss it. You won't miss it if you just hit there, if you subscribe. And the other thing you should do is like the video on the way out. And everybody, please, most of all, jet up.